If you like the video, please subscribe Technical PCT channel and click the bell icon to get the latest videos.
So, good morning, students. Good morning, students. Welcome to Sri Chaitanya BU College online classes. So, up to yesterday, we discussed about plane mirrors. Today, we are going to discuss about spherical mirrors. Up to yesterday, we discussed about plane mirrors, formation of image by plane mirror. Virtual image is formed by the plane mirror. If the object is present in front of the plane mirror, image will be formed behind the plane mirror. Virtual image, erect image, longitudinally erect, laterally inversion. The object distance in front of the mirror is equal to the image distance behind the mirror. So many points we discussed in plane mirror. Let us go to the spherical mirrors. How to define the spherical mirror? Mirror means what? It consists of two surfaces. One surface is a polished surface. The other surface is the reflecting surface. First of all, how to define a mirror? Mirror, it is a device, optical device, consisting of the two surfaces. One surface, polished surface. The second surface, another surface, the reflecting surface. So the spherical mirror is defined as it is a part of complete sphere in which one surface is polished, the other surface is reflecting surface. How can we understand the spherical mirrors? It is a part of a sphere. If we consider a big sphere, out of that big sphere, a small part is taken. And in that part, one surface is highly polished. The other surface is the reflecting surface. And that mirror is called the spherical mirrors. Spherical mirror. Let us consider this is a complete sphere. This is the complete sphere. This is the center of the sphere. Imagine a part of a sphere, a small portion of the sphere, AB, a small portion of the sphere, AB. That small portion of the sphere, if we consider, one surface is polished, the other surface is a reflecting surface. This is the small portion of a sphere. Similarly, consider another small portion of the sphere. There are two surfaces are there. One surface towards the center of the circular path, the other surface away from the center of the circle. That is the sphere. One surface towards the center of the sphere. This surface is towards the center of the sphere. This surface is away from the center of the sphere, of which it is a part. So, one surface is polished. If I polish the outer surface away from the center, this is called concave mirror. Concave mirror. If I polish the inner surface the surface which is towards the center is polished. The other surface is the reflecting surface. Then that surface is the convex mirror. So spherical mirror is once again divided into two parts or two. One is called as the concave mirror. The other one is called the convex mirror. Spherical mirror, it is a part of a complete sphere in which one surface is polished surface, the other surface is the reflecting surface. This is spherical mirror. The spherical mirror is of two types. Spherical mirror is of two types. What are the two types of spherical mirror? One is called concave mirror. The other one, convex mirror. Convex mirror. This is the diagrammatic part. Diagrammatic part. This is the concave mirror and this one is the convex mirror. How to define the concave mirror and the convex mirror? How to identify? Very simple. We have to imagine this as a complete sphere. This mirror is a small portion of the complete mirror. There will be center for that sphere. Imagine the sphere. Imagine the sphere. If the surface away from the center is polished, away from the center of the imagined sphere is polished, that is concave mirror. If the surface which is away from towards the center of the sphere is polished, that is convex mirror. So therefore, how to define the concave mirror? If the surface towards the center of the sphere, center towards away from the center of the sphere is a polished, then that mirror is the concave mirror. Convex mirror, the surface towards the center of the sphere is a polished, then that mirror is called the convex mirror. The other surface is the reflecting surface. If this surface is polished, outer surface, the inner surface is the reflecting surface. In this case, the inner surface is polished, the outer surface is the reflecting surface. So in the case of concave mirror, the outer surface is polished, the inner surface is the reflecting surface. In case of convex mirror, the outer surface is reflecting surface, the inner surface is the polished surface. So therefore, the spherical mirrors are of two types. One is called as convex mirror, the other one is called as a concave mirror. Concave mirror. Easy to identify by polished surface. Polished surface. The outer surface is polished, concave. The inner surface is polished, convex mirror. Convex mirror. Now once again, whenever the light rays are allowed to fall on the concave mirror, another way of defining the concave mirror and convex mirror. That is, whenever the light rays are allowed to fall on the concave mirror or After reflection, all the light rays converges to a point. That's why the concave mirror is also convergent mirror. Concave mirror is the convergent mirror. Why it is convergent mirror? Whenever the light rays are allowed to fall on the concave mirror, after reflection, the light rays are going to converges to a point. That's why it is a convergent mirror. Concave mirror, convex mirror. Whenever the light rays falls onto the mirror, convex mirror, the light rays are going to diverge. When studying the plane mirrors, before that introduction, we discussed that the beam of light is of three types. One is parallel beam of light, convergent beam of light, divergent beam of light. After reflection, after refraction, if the light rays meets at a point, then that beam is called the convergent beam. If the light rays after reflection, after refraction diverges, appears to meet at a point, then that beam is called divergent beam. So in case of convex mirror, after reflection, all the light rays diverges, appears to meet at a point. That's why the convex mirror is the divergent mirror. So spherical mirror is nothing but it is a part of a complete sphere in which one surface is polished, the other surface is reflecting surface. Spherical mirror is of two types. One concave mirror, the other one convex mirror. In case of convex mirror, outer surface is the reflecting surface, the inner surface is a polished surface. In case of concave mirror, outer surface is polished surface, the inner surface is the reflecting surface. In case of concave mirror, whenever the light rays are allowed to fall, are allowed to incident on the concave mirror, after reflection, all the light rays converges to a point. That's why it is called convergent mirror. In case of convex mirror, whenever the light rays are allowed to fall on that convex mirror, after reflection, the light rays appears to meet at a point, converges to a point. That's why that mirror is called convergent mirror. And also we discussed that the convergent, that is the rays, will form the real image. The divergent, that is the rays, will form virtual image. Therefore, the image formed by the convex mirror is always virtual image. Virtual image will be formed by the convex mirror. But in case of concave mirror, depending upon the position of the object, it will form the real image or the virtual image. So, depending upon the position of the object in front of the concave mirror, it may form the real image or the virtual image. So, I have to keep in mind, always the convex mirror will form virtual image, whereas the concave mirror, depending upon the position of the object in front of the mirror, it forms either the real image or the virtual image. So we know what is meant by the spherical mirror. How many types of the spherical mirrors are there? What are they? how to identify the concave mirror and how to identify the convex mirror. The concave mirror is also called the convergent mirror. The convex mirror is also called divergent mirror. Concave mirror forms either real image or the virtual image, depending upon the position of the object in front of the mirror. We will discuss that one later. In case of convex mirror, the rays are divergent rays. That's why it is called divergent mirror. Divergent rays always forms the virtual image. So therefore, the convex mirror forms virtual image. Virtual image. Now let us go to some important definitions in case of what? Mirror. In case of spherical mirrors, which are frequently used. Important definitions. So this is concave mirror. Why this is concave mirror? Because the outer surface is polished. The inner surface is reflecting surface. Or the surface towards the center of the imagined sphere is reflecting surface. The surface away from the center is polished. So this is concave. Concave. This mirror is convex. Convex. Why convex? The surface, inner surface is polished. Inner surface is polished. The outer surface is a reflecting surface. Reflecting surface. One important definition in this one is the first one is the pole. Pole of the mirror. How to define the pole of the mirror? First definition. The geometrical center of the spherical mirror is called the pole of the mirror. Geometrical center. Geometrical center of the spherical mirror is called the pole of the mirror. So in this case, where is the pole? This is the pole of the mirror. In this case, where is the center? This is the center. This is the pole of the mirror. The first and foremost point which we have to identify in case of mirror, spherical mirrors, is the pole. The pole is nothing but the geometrical center of the spherical mirror is called the pole of the mirror. In the case of concave mirror, this is the pole of the mirror, P represents. In the case of convex, simultaneously we are writing the pole of the mirror, geometrical center, that is P. Second one, center of curvature. Center of curvature. Generally represented by C. Center of curvature. Already we discussed that the spherical mirror is nothing but it is a part of a sphere. Imagine the complete sphere. Imagine complete sphere. Here also, imagine the complete sphere. Complete sphere. So for this one, this will be the center of that sphere. So for this one, this will be the center of that imagined sphere. The center of the complete sphere of which the mirror is a part is called center of curvature. How to understand the center of curvature? If we consider this spherical mirror, it is a part of a complete sphere. The center of that sphere of which the mirror is a part is called the center of curvature. The center of the sphere of which the mirror is a part is called what? It is called the center of curvature. The first point, the pole of a mirror, spherical mirror, the geometrical center of the spherical mirror is called pole. Is called pole. Center of curvature, the center of the sphere of which the mirror is a part is called the center of curvature. This is the center of curvature for this concave mirror. This is the center of curvature for this convex mirror. Convex mirror. So two definitions over. Now, third one, radius of curvature. Third one, radius of curvature. Third point. What is radius of curvature? It is also very simple. If we consider this is a part of a mirror, part of a sphere, the radius of this sphere is called the radius of curvature. If we consider this portion is a part of a complete sphere, the radius of this sphere is called radius of curvature. So from here to here, radius of curvature. From here to here, radius of curvature. In generally, we will say the distance between the pole of the mirror to the center of curvature is measured as the radius of curvature. Radius. So how to define the radius of curvature? The radius of the sphere of which the mirror is a part is called radius of curvature. From where to where we will take? From P to C, where P is called as the pole of the mirror, C is called as the center of curvature. Center of curvature. Three definitions over in the case of spherical mirror. The first one, the pole of the mirror. The second one, the center of curvature. The third one, radius of curvature. If you understand all these concepts, simple definitions, we can go deep into the spherical mirror, derivation parts, mirror formula, magnification formula, relation between radius of curvature and focal length into the spherical mirror completely. First, all the definitions related to the spherical mirrors. Pole over, center of curvature over, radius of curvature over. Now the fourth one, principal axis. Fourth one, principal axis. Principal axis. How to define the principal axis. The principal axis is nothing but it is a straight line which joins the pole of the mirror to the center of curvature. Pole of the mirror to the center of curvature. This is the pole of the mirror. This is the center of curvature. Any straight line which joins the pole of the mirror to the center of curvature. From where to where? From minus infinity to plus infinity. We can take the straight line. That is the principal axis. This axis. Principal axis. So in this diagram also, the straight line which joins, which is passing through the center of curvature and the pole of the mirror is called the principal axis. From where to where we can take? We can take the principal axis from minus infinity to plus infinity. So principal axis, a straight line which passes through the pole and the center of curvature of the spherical mirror is called the principal axis. The fourth one, principal axis. From where to where we can take the principal axis? The principal axis can be taken from minus infinity to the plus infinity. Plus infinity. So four definitions over in case of spherical mirror. The first one, pole of the mirror. The second one, the center of curvature. The third one, that is radius of curvature. The fourth one, the principal axis. In case of concave mirror, in case of convex mirror, simultaneously we are representing in the diagrams, in the picture. Now let us consider the next one, the fifth one, the principal focus. Next one, consider the principal focus. How to define the principal focus? Principal focus. Principal focus means, first we will understand with the diagram. There is a light ray which is falling onto the concave mirror. Parallel to what axis? The principal axis. Consider the light rays which are falling onto the concave mirror parallel to the principal axis. Parallel. And also the light rays are paraxial rays. The light rays are divided into two types. One, the paraxial rays. Second one, marginal rays in entire optics. The light rays which we deal in optics are of two types. One, the paraxial rays. Second one, marginal rays. The light rays which are falling very near to the principal axis are paraxial rays. Paraxial rays. Marginal rays, the light rays which are falling away from the principal axis, far away from the principal axis, are marginal rays. Once I repeat, marginal rays and paraxial rays. The marginal light rays are those light rays which are falling on the mirror away from the principal axis, making larger angles. Larger angles. Paraxial rays. The paraxial rays are those light rays which are falling onto the mirror very near to the principal axis, making small angles. Whatever the light rays which we discuss for derivations in entire optics, we will consider the paraxial rays, not marginal rays. Not marginal rays, either in case of reflection or refraction throughout the optics. In almost all derivations, we consider only the paraxial rays. We will write the definition also for the paraxial rays. Paraxial rays. The light rays which are falling on the mirror near to the principal axis are called paraxial rays. They must be parallel and very near to the principal axis. Paraxial rays. Marginal rays, just a reverse. Remove paraxial, write down marginal, away from the principal axis. Those are marginal rays. Only two types of rays we consider in entire optics. So paraxial rays, this is marginal rays. Marginal rays are those light rays which are falling onto the mirror away from the principal axis. The marginal rays makes larger angles. Paraxial rays makes smaller angles. Now, coming to the principal focus. Now we know what are marginal rays and what are paraxial rays. Let us consider this is 1, this is 2. These two light rays are the paraxial rays which are falling onto the concave mirror. Parallel to the principal axis. This is principal axis. That is principal axis. Passing through what and what? Center of curvature and pole of the mirror. After reflection, all these light rays passes through a fixed point on the principal axis. Not only these two, any paraxial rays parallel to the principal axis. After reflection, they will passes through a fixed point on the principal axis. And that fixed point is called as a principal focus. Not only these two. If we take one more light ray, here one more light ray. These two light rays are also paraxial rays parallel to the principal axis. After reflection, they will also passes through the same fixed point after reflection. This fixed point on the principal axis at which all the light rays parallel to the principal axis meets, converges really on the principal axis is called as what? Principal focus. Similarly, in the case of concave, convex, this is in case of concave. Consider one light ray parallel to the principal axis, another light ray parallel to the principal axis. This is the principal axis now. This is the principal axis. Principal axis. Principal axis. This is the first light ray which is falling parallel to the principal axis. This is the another light ray which is falling parallel to the principal axis. After reflection, here the light ray is reflected like this. This light ray is reflected like this. This is the first reflected light ray. This is the second reflected light ray after falling on the convex mirror. Does these two light rays meet? No, they never meet, but appears to be coming from this point. Appears to be coming from this point, and this point is called principal focus. All the light rays, consider one more light ray. Consider here one more light ray. After reflection, it will be reflected like this. It will be reflected like this. These two light rays appears to be coming from this point. Appears to be coming. That's why these rays are called divergent rays. Divergent. Here really meets the light rays, but here the light rays appears to meet. That's why it is called convergent mirror and it is called divergent mirror. This is the principal focus. This is the principal focus. This is the principal focus in case of concave mirror. This is the principal focus in case of convex mirror. So how to define the principal focus? Principal focus. The principal focus, it is a point on the principal axis. All the light rays which are falling parallel to the principal axis will meet or appears to meet on the principal axis. That one we have to write, that's all. When the light rays incidence on the mirror parallel to the principal axis. When the light rays, all the light rays which are incident on the mirror parallel to the principal axis, parallel to the principal axis, after reflection, appears or really meets at a point on the principal axis, and that point is called the principal focus. Appears to meet at a point on the principal axis, and the point is called principal focus. Principal focus. In case of concave mirror, they really meet. In case of convex mirror, they appears to meet. all the light rays parallel to the principal axis. Parallel to the principal axis. That is the principal focus. Principal focus. So, pole of the mirror over, center of curvature we discussed, radius of curvature we discussed, principal axis we discussed, marginal rays, paraxial rays, and the principal focus. Principal focus. Now, focal length. How to define the focal length of a mirror? Focal length of a mirror. The distance between the pole of the mirror and the principal focus is called the focal length. Pole to principal focus. If you measure the distance, that is called the focal length of the mirror. Similarly here also, the distance between that is the pole and the principal focus is called the focal length of the mirror. In case of spherical, in case of that is convex and the concave. Focal length of the mirror. In many problems, you are asked to calculate the focal length of the spherical mirror. Either it may be convex or concave. Most of the problems in this concept. The distance between the pole and the principal focus of the mirror is called focal length of the mirror. Focal length of the mirror. Then, after focal length, the final definition in this one is nothing but aperture of the mirror. Aperture of the mirror. Here we can understand. In that diagram, slightly confusion because all the light rays are there. This is the concave mirror. Concave mirror. Take the two light rays, extreme light rays, at which reflection will take place. Reflection will take place. This is the principal axis. This is the principal axis. Take this light ray. Reflection takes place or not? Yes. Reflection will take place. Extreme light rays. Take this light ray. The reflection takes place or not? Yes. The reflection will take place. Beyond this light ray, does the reflection take place? No. The reflection does not take place. It is not falling on the mirror. Beyond this light ray, does the reflection take place? No. The reflection does not take place. The perpendicular distance between these two light rays, extreme light rays, where the reflection will take place is called as what? It is called as aperture of the mirror. The perpendicular distance between M and N is the aperture of the mirror. Similarly, if we take up the convex mirror, convex mirror. So does the reflection takes place here or not? Yes, the reflection takes place for this light ray. Does the reflection takes place for this light ray or not? Yes, the reflection will take place. Beyond this one, does the reflection takes place? No, there is no mirror at all. Beyond this one, there is a reflection takes place for the light rays. No, reflection does not take place. The perpendicular distance between these two extreme light rays is called as what? It is called as a aperture of the mirror. Aperture of the mirror. So, how to write the concept of aperture of the mirror? Aperture of the mirror is written as, is defined as the perpendicular distance between the two extreme light rays at which the reflection will take place. The reflection will take place on the mirror is called as what? It is called as aperture of the mirror. Aperture of the mirror. So today, what we discussed? We started the spherical mirrors. We saw the definition. Spherical mirror is a part of a complete sphere in which one surface is polished, the other surface is the reflecting surface, the entire gist of the class. Next, spherical mirrors are of two types: concave mirror, convex mirror. In case of convex mirror, the surface away from the center is polished. In case of convex mirror, convex, the surface towards the center of the sphere is polished, and then this is the reflecting surface, outer surface, the inner surface is the reflecting surface. We discussed so many definitions in case of the spherical mirror: pole of the mirror, center of curvature, radius of curvature, principal axis, marginal rays, paraxial rays, principal focus, focal length, and that is aperture of the mirror. These are the important points. Tomorrow, once again, we will discuss some more concepts ahead in case of spherical mirrors. So have a good day. Thank you very much.